My next guest is a producer, artist, and father. He originates from Maine and now lives in the Seattle area. And he's eager to make himself a household name. Introducing Jay Fierly.
Mommy rolling hard like she country band. Yeah, we riding hard like we eating Aqualand. Pure cocaina, and she never bland.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today, I'm with a very special guest. This has been a long time coming. How long have we been talking now?
Oh my gosh, it's been at least over 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then you hit me up like a month or two ago, right?
Yeah,
to like set up something, and then it's just it's a grind.
Yeah,
so now
exactly.
we're together. This is Jay Fierly. How do you pronounce it? Fierly?
It's actually Fierly.
Fierly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's hard to read it.
I was trying to do like the Guy Fieri type thing, you know, how his name is Guy Fieri.
Absolutely.
So
Everybody uses that or Fierly.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty common.
So what made you decide to stick with like your actual name versus a stage name type?
It actually came about a couple of years ago when I was first like really considering getting back into music. This is my second swing at music. I kind of gave it up a while ago. But I heard Russ talking in an interview, and he was like, yeah, I didn't really want to come up with anything creative or anything like that. I just figured I would use my government name.
Yes.
I was like, I can kind of relate to that, I guess. Like, and I've always wanted Fierly to be a household name because like I come from a really small family of, you know, I'm like a third generation American born, so only a couple removed. Yeah. And so like I wanted Fierly to like stand out, and like when you hear Coca-Cola or like Pepsi or Fierly, like they're synonymous.
It sounds like a welcoming name too.
Thank you.
It sounds like it reminds me of like a Furby kind of.
That's awesome. It kind of hits with the older crowd because Mr. Fierly was a character on a TV show called Three's Company, and like it's the only reference you have to Fierly. So every time anybody over 50 is like, oh, like Three's Company, and I'm like, you got it. That's
You
right.
got it.
You're never gonna forget now.
Oh man. So you're a producer / songwriter, or how would you like to describe yourself as?
Yeah, I would say I'm just like, I like to just use the word artist because that allows me to be creative in like whatever way I want to express myself. But predominantly I would say I'm like a producer songwriter who's now diving into like becoming a recording artist and using the work that I've been making and like making it my own now instead of making beats for other people or something like that.
What made you decide to take another swing at it?
It's a super long story.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. We got time.
So before I'm divorced. So I used to be married. I guess that comes with the implication when you say you're divorced.
How old are you?
I am 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look really young, man.
Thank you.
You know who you look like? What's his name? The Jackass guy.
Johnny Knoxville?
Yes.
People, you know what? It's 50% Johnny Knoxville, and as of recently, 50% Joe from You. You're like, you kind of look like the guy Joe.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. I guess I do. But, so yeah, rewind like a decade ago, and I had first introduced myself, or I guess we got introduced to each other, me and my ex-wife, and we were living together. We had a couple other friends, and we all had this like big recording studio in the house, and it was just like, you know, it was gonna become a movement. We were doing concerts and stuff. It was like a crazy, I would say, year. And then some stuff happened, and it was like, okay, now we need to focus on like building a family, and we kind of had to put music to the side. Well, I say that now, but like thinking back, I didn't have to. I just chose to because I wanted to focus on other stuff, which I guess it makes sense in retrospect. But then I just kind of like stopped doing the music, her and I both, and we would just like, you know, dabble here and there, just like, you know, go to karaoke just to kind of get a little fix, or like I would just like maybe offer to DJ somebody's birthday or something, you know what I mean? And then as of recently, you know, probably a year and a half ago, we split up, and then I found myself having all kinds of free time where I could like do something other than, you know, spousal, we'll say spousal duties. We'll use that phrase.
Sounds like something you pick up at like a grocery store.
Oh, what aisle are the spousal duties in? And so yeah, I was just like, all right, let me just start jumping into it, and I started. 1 year ago, I only had like 112 Instagram followers. I wasn't really like, I used it to just like post a picture of my son, or like a picture of some flowers that I saw that I thought looked dope, right? And so then I was like, okay, let me start posting stuff on Instagram. And then before I knew it, I was like, oh, I have like 400 followers. Okay, it's only been a couple months. And I'm like, oh, now I have 6, now I have 7, and now I'm at 8. And
now I'm at 1 million.
Yeah, no. And so like I know it sounds like 800, like, oh wow, yeah.
No,
big
that's
deal.
actually good.
But like
man.
for a year of someone who's just like really starting, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good growth. Like 800 people fuck with me enough to like watch my stuff every day, so that's it's a pat on the back, right? That's really good. And so that's kind of how I like dove back into the music scene. Actually, the shirt I'm wearing is made by a local artist, Perry Porter. He's a painter and a rapper, and like he's like hella talented, right? He just got off a tour. He was on tour with Romero Francois.
Dude, link me up with him, man.
Yeah, for sure. No, I will absolutely.
That's dope.
And so I went to one of his live shows. It was like my friends were like, "Oh, go on a date." And I was like, "Okay." So I met this woman, and we went on a date to one of his shows, and I was like, "Man, he fucking looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna really start doing this again. Like, this looks great. Like, I don't even care how much I get paid to do a venue show or anything like that. Like, I just want to like get on stage and perform music, and like if people vibe with it, like that's dope. That's all I want to do. It's just like have fun with it." And so he probably was like the final like push over the edge to like.
And then Macklemore called him. You can't forget that.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Hey, heard you've been making music." No.
But yeah, that's what I feel about concerts as well. Like, for me, before I got into like the music scene or any of it at all, like, I kind of was like, oh, I'm just a fan. I'd take my phone out, videotape the whole thing, like most people do. And now that I'm actually like in the music scene, I'm like, why the fuck are people on their phones? Or I'm like finding myself actually like criticizing what's happening on stage or actually zoning in on what's happening and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to be up there versus just like in the crowd.
Yeah.
Or like if it's like a two-story like a venue, you know, like the top floor is usually like where the seats are and stuff, and you look over the balcony.
Yeah.
I find myself wanting to like, sit down up there versus be in the crowd, you know.
It's just kind of observe more, because then you can like you get a feel for what they're doing, because they're really trying to put on a show. They're not just like reciting your favorite song. You know what I mean? Like they're really trying to put on a whole experience. So, yeah. Why
do you think people videotape things? Like I feel like, especially for me, like I got a notification like last month that my phone storage was almost empty. So I scrolled through, and it was all just fucking videos of old concerts and shit. I'm like, I have never looked at these again in my entire life. So what do you think makes people want to like film everything?
That's a good question. I would say if I had to put it on something, I would say definitely for some clout. Like if you have some like front row tickets, or you have some dope view, and you're gonna just throw it on Instagram the next day for the people that couldn't make it. You know what I mean? Like that would probably be one reason, I guess. I don't know. There's only been a couple concerts that I went to that I really felt compelled to record some stuff, and I would say most of it wasn't even performances. It was like the shit they did in between songs. Or like I went to a Logic concert, and Kyle opened up for him. And he threw a surfboard into the crowd. And he low-key, like, real fucking crowd surfed. Like, he jumped on the surfboard, and, like, people were moving, and I was like, I need to record this. Like, people aren't going to believe me, you know what I mean? And Logic played Street Fighter with somebody. Like, he brought somebody up from the crowd, and they played Street Fighter on the big screen in between a couple songs. I was like, this is tight. Gotta record this. So that, I guess that's why I would do it, but for the experience, I guess I would overall just like to sit back with a drink and just kind of like be there, enjoy the moment. So even if you haven't, how long would you say you haven't been making music? Because like even if it's been like a year or less, the amount of Seattle has changed, in my opinion, is like drastic. Have you noticed differences between when you stopped and now starting up again? Yes, absolutely. Especially because I've only been here in Seattle. I'm actually an East Coast native. Oh. Yeah, I've only lived here since 2016. Okay. I'm a transplant. Oh yeah, got the word. You know the word. Yeah, and I hate using it because there's so much stigma that comes with it. Like every time I hear it, I like feel people. Yeah, I feel people cringe when they look at me. Like when I hear transplant, but it's like I don't claim to be from Seattle or anything. Like I live in Kent. Yeah. I'm not trying to ride that little wave that I'm from Seattle. I would like to say one day that I could be included in that. Like yeah, he's from Seattle. You know what I mean? Like he did his thing in Seattle for Seattle. Yeah. And so I would say from what I've seen, even in the past 3 years. When I first got here, Travis Thompson was one of the first names I heard of. Sam LaChow, I saw him at, what's the music festival that they used to have? Sasquatch. Sasquatch! Yeah, he was like, I was a last minute fill-in for somebody, and I saw him and I was like, wow, these guys are fucking tight. And then now I hear artists from Seattle. And it does sound a little bit different, you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot more, I don't want to say, there's a lot more like, people that are making music because they want to sound like everybody else than when I first got here 3 years ago. Like genuine. Yeah, it's kind of, I kind of see that too. I don't know what it is. I think just like 2018 to 2019, tons of like
people that sounded the same started to pop off.
Yeah.
And then Little Mosey started to blow up also. So I think
Super duper.
people never really were like, oh shit, I want to be the next Macklemore.
Yeah.
You know, because he was definitely his own dude, 100%. But like Little Mosey's an easier person to kind of sound like. So I guess for me, what I'm doing right now, because I want to give everyone a platform, but I also like have to shift through people, you know, because like some people are like, oh yeah, I just picked up a microphone and a laptop and now I'm the next Little Mosey. And
That's what I do.
Yeah, but I don't think people giving up Travis Thompson enough like credit. Dude, he has like a full mural of him painted on.
No, he's
Numos.
tight as fuck.
Yeah.
Like when I first heard Father Forgive Me,
He's a
I'm
dope
coming.
dude.
I was like, bro, this is fucking good ass music, you know what I mean? Then I started listening to his whole catalog. I'm like, he's spitting, homie's spitting. Like he's really got something to say.
And it's weird because when I ask people about or tell people about, oh, there's a concert I'm going to tonight, and if it's not like Drake or a household name, they're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, like
And
you
I'm-
spent money on that?
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I want Seattle to become more like Atlanta, where like the normies are like, oh yeah, I know who that person is, but like
Yeah.
right now, if you're not in the music scene, people don't know who that person is.
No.
Why do you think that is?
I think that sometimes people might take the small circle too serious.
Yeah.
And like just for instance, this is not even music related, but it's gonna jump back into it.
Yeah.
The other day I asked my homie like, yo, that cologne you wear, that shit smells fire, bro. Like I swear it smells better than everything I ever smelled. Like pause. And I was like, what is that, bro? That shit must kill with the women. He was like, can't tell you that shit, man. And we all be smelling the same. I'm like, what, bro? I'm not gonna wear it when I'm around you. I just want to know what it is in case I ever want to try it out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I was like, it's a trade secret. And so like I feel like people have that like, oh, they just want to fuck with us because we got a little bit of clout. We can't be letting them in. Like,
Yeah.
we can't be sharing that. It's like, what? Maybe they were just trying to learn how to do something.
Right.
Or like, I feel like people might just like stick to themselves too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you start making music when you're on the East Coast, or like once you moved to Seattle, or?
Yeah, on the East Coast, it was definitely, before I was married, it was a lot more prevalent. I was really trying to like dive into making just like straight hip hop beats, like really
Yeah.
East Coast, like Wu-Tang style stuff. And then once I moved out here, I found myself, the first like 2 months, I really just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
And I was like so naive, and I was just like uploading beats all willy-nilly, and they sounded like shit, and like I thought they were great, and I was just like, man, I'm not getting the response I want.
Right.
And then as of recently, I found myself like really taking my time to work on the craft. And so 12 months, I would say I've been like officially been really working on music and like honing in on it, like not going out on the weekends, not doing stuff,
Yeah.
like just doing the music.
In the studio all day.
Yeah, for
every
sure.
day. What made you start making music on the East Coast? Like, what inspired you to start even beats or anything like that?
It was like 80% trying to stay away from all kinds of negative shit, and 20% I lived in Maine, and there just like really wasn't anything to do
Yeah.
other than stuff that was probably suspect or shouldn't be done in the first place.
Yeah.
And so like I was just trying to like find a way out aside from college or anything like that. You know, I ended up going to college after that anyways, but I just wanted to do that. It was really because music was always a part of my life. Like I never gave it credit or acknowledged it, but like I was doing chorus in grade school, and then in 7th grade I did piano lessons, and then in 9th grade I did guitar lessons, in 10th grade I did drum lessons, but none of them were ever like
Clicking all the way?
yeah, altogether it was never like, oh, I'm interested in music. It was just like, oh, drums are cool, I want to learn how to play those.
Yeah.
And now looking back, I'm like, damn, I've been interested in music my whole life. I should have just been
Yes.
like, at 18, out the door, I should have just gave it my 100. But hindsight's always 20/20.
But I don't know, it's really, it's funny because do people think of you as like an artist, or like when they look at you, are they like, oh, this guy must be an artist? Do you think what do you think is like describes an artist? Like if you could like see someone walking down the street and be like, oh, that's an
Like
artist.
physically?
Yeah.
I don't know why immediately I picture tight black jeans with a leather jacket and a beanie.
Yeah.
Like, but that's just the Seattle grunge
That's like a
you know what I
hipster
mean?
type.
Yeah. But I don't know, man, because like, you know Kid Lowry? He's a rapper that just came out of Australia.
Oh.
When I first saw him, he's in a Lyrical Lemonade video with Lil Tecca.
Okay.
Diva is the name of the song. When I first saw him, I'm like, this kid looks kind of like a young hillbilly. Like, he's really rapping on this stuff, singing, sounding really like Post Malone style, like very melodic and like Juice WRLD. And I was like, dang. So like, I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know if there's like one set look. I know I definitely wouldn't pinpoint if I was looking at myself from somebody else's eyes, I wouldn't be like, that cat's a producer.
Right.
You know, I'd be like, another dude.
That's kind of cool though. I think people need to realize that like artists are just people too.
Yeah.
Dude, I've always been into podcasts, but and I've always been like really tunnel visioned on who I'd listen to. So I would just listen to like Joe Rogan and the Breakfast Club.
He's great.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. I literally stay up to date with every single episode that's posted, so I'm still get tunnel vision on him. But I didn't realize Conan O'Brien had a podcast also.
Oh shit.
And I was like, okay, this is probably gonna be like the funniest shit ever.
Super unfiltered.
And then I listened to it, and like he has all these amazing guests, and yeah, there's like a little comedy to it. But he's like talking about like how he's depressed and shit like that, and like
man.
how like he's like how he, like I was listening to the one today with Jesse Eisenberg. Is it Eisenberg or Essenberg? Like the
from Facebook movie?
I think he's in Facebook and Zombieland and
okay, yeah, I
that
think
guy.
it is Eisenberg.
Eisenberg,
I think
either
so.
one. And they're like, oh yeah, dude, you have anxiety? I have anxiety too. Shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, see, even if you're famous and have all the money in the world, you're still like, you have feelings,
Yeah.
you know?
It's not like...
But I don't know. I think it's weird that people get put on a platform. But at the end of the day, I think that's what every artist most artists in a way kind of want that to like be an inspiration. Do you want to be an inspiration?
I do, because the town that I'm from, you know, I feel like everybody says this, but the town I'm from only has like 1,000 people.
Oh shit! Wait, really?
Yeah. And so like it's really small. Like there's one store, and then it's 14 miles, and then it's another store. And so like there's nobody. Like when you think of Maine, like who do you think of?
No one.
Like for real. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm trying to be that, like, and I don't say I want to be a staple for Maine or represent Maine, but like so Stephen King, he's from Maine.
Oh really?
Yeah. And Anna Kendrick,
Okay.
she's from Maine. Patrick Dempsey,
Okay.
he's from Maine. So like
There's
there
some
are people, but they're far and few in between, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I would like, and there's nobody really big from the music genre, you know. There's just one guy, Jeremy Green, who like had a song with Pitbull, and
Pitbull.
yeah, and it got, you know, a couple 100,000 views in 2005. And but he's really successful in other categories, but like there's nobody from Maine rather, that does music. And so my ultimate dream is to like do soundtracks for like movies and TV shows and scores, and like, and I want to be like the next Seinfeld guy who comes up with that ditty right there, like everybody knows, you know. That's really what I want to do, because that's when people hear my beats, if it's not easy to rap to or sing to, the common denominator is always like, man, I could picture like opening credits for a film with this playing, or like, man, I could picture like a car exploding and people walking away in slow motion with this playing. I'm like, okay, so like there's a common theme to these things that I'm making, so that's like my ultimate goal, is to do that with music.
You know, Pusha T made the McDonald's theme song. Ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, he made that. That's
I think
Pusha
I saw
T.
that on the Instagram quote one day. I
Yeah.
think maybe Gary Vee might have shared that or
Oh
something.
shit! Yeah, but like I think that's cool, and you're the second person who said like they're into like movie soundtrack type things.
Yeah.
Because I have people like I said, like I'm all about like connecting not just Seattle but people who are coming to tour in Seattle, because I want Seattle to be like a music media hotspot, entertainment hotspot. Like also like what I do, like I look up like who's coming to Seattle, and there's freaking like Chris Redd, who's part of the SNL cast. He's like one of the only black guys on it. He's like coming to Seattle to like stand up. Like there's so many people that like come to Seattle and no one even like realizes it unless they're like huge fans.
That goes back to what you said, because it's not Drake, or it's not you know, so and so who's like so easy to remember, right?
Right. Yeah. But yeah, what was I saying? I was saying the soundtrack thing, like, connecting people.
Yeah.
So like I know people who are like into like making films and stuff, and they need people for like soundtracks and shit like that. So like that's where I'm like, okay, I can give this connection to this person, people like that. And like you don't see that enough in Seattle right now. people try to hold on to like their secrets, but they don't really have. If they have the secrets, they'd be blowing up, but they're not really.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what do you like? What's the line you're drawing? Why are we drawing this line?
How do you even make a beat? I have no idea like how to even start with any of that.
It's it all depends on what's happening, right? So like sometimes I might get some homies who sent me a bunch of melodies that they made, and I might already have some drums that I know will go with it, like some loops that I've made. But most of the time, like what it comes down to is either opening up the DAW and just like listening through a bunch of instruments, and then matching how I feel or the energy that whoever I'm working with brought into it. So I might just like, if I know this artist sounds good over some like horns, you know, I'm going to bring in some saxophone and some trumpets, and we're going to try to create some sort of dope melody and then build off of that. Or if it's like we're not having any creative juices flowing, I'll go on Splice and I'll just listen through some melodies that I know the artist will be good in this key because they've made songs in this key before. And then once I find a melody, it's over. It's game over. I just build drums around it and it's a hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where the best artists come from. Artists that are also producers. Like Travis Scott, dude.
Yep.
He was a producer first, and now he's insane. Like,
dude, he's an inspiration for so many reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially his braids. Like, anytime, if I get braids or something, like, my white friends will be like, oh, you're trying to be Travis Scott. I'm like, there's other people who have braids,
He didn't invent this hairstyle.
Yeah, or A$AP Rocky.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. That's crazy, yeah. No, I like Travis Scott because he's humble as fuck. And like, when I listen to his interviews, like, he really speaks the truth. Like, he was like, yeah, I remember being in the studio with a blanket over my head because we didn't have no pop filters or anything. We didn't have sound isolation. And I'm like, man, that's how I feel. Like, I don't give a shit what it looks like.
Yeah.
If it sounds good,
yeah,
that's what people want to know.
That's right. I'm so picky on sound and everything. Like, even this, like, whatever that little buzzing is, it's like very slight. Even that's like, oh, is it the light?
I think so.
I don't know. See, like, stuff like that. Like, I'm like, shit, I could hear that. Yeah. But I think producers need a lot more credit than what they're given. And there's, like, I don't know how, like, that's what I want to get more into, like, every type of scene in, like, Seattle, whether it's art, visuals, producing, film, all that stuff. I'm all into that type of stuff. But I don't really hear anyone being like, oh, yeah, this is the producer that everyone's going to in Seattle.
No.
You know? Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's easy? It's still harder to have a name in Seattle right now, but it's definitely changing over time. But, like, people are first to say, oh, here are the top Seattle artists, but they're not like, here's the top Seattle producers.
That's true. That's a good question. That's a question I probably should have been asking myself a long time ago. That's introspective for me. So, damn, I don't really know. I know Royce. He's pretty fire, but that's just because he came up with Mosey, you know what I mean? He was the one that was making the beats for Mosey, so that's mostly where his name came from.
Right.
But I don't know, you know what I mean? I had the pleasure of meeting DJ Toomp. You know DJ Toomp? So he is a multi-Grammy winning producer. He produced like T.I.'s first couple albums. He produced a lot of Kanye stuff, Rick Ross, like he's all over the place. And so he came to Seattle a couple months ago, and I had the pleasure of meeting him and like talking to him and stuff. And like his whole vision for Seattle was to like kind of like you were trying to do, like really bring more energy and more love to Seattle, and so the spotlight will be quick to follow, right? Because there's enough talent here. And so he probably noticed the same thing. Like there's just not like 1, 2, 6, 5, 10 specific producers that are popping off in Seattle.
Yeah.
I think that is because it's so easy to just get a free version of a DAW and just like get 2 loops from a free,
YouTube type beat even.
Yeah, exactly. And then boom, you know what I mean? You don't even need a producer. You just stole that bit and you don't got to worry about it. And like there's so many people who are making music and so few who are making famous that like most of these YouTube producers aren't even tripping over people stealing their beats, because unless it pops off, and if it does, then they're already paid. They stole their beat, they're already paid.
They
so,
got that lawsuit.
Exactly. Like I got the retainer on the lawyer for you fools. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
So that's probably the main reason. Like it's just so easy to just find beats elsewhere. You don't need to have like one cat like Boy Wonder or DJ Mustard who just like is the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But
what do you think it's important to have? Because some producers don't have it, but the like the tagline people have, do you think that's important?
I think it is now. That actually brings me back to something I remember talking. I was hearing an interview with Mike Jones. You remember Mike
Jones? Who?
You know how he does that?
Yeah,
he does that because his grandmother always told him, like, listen, say your name. Always say your name. Let people know who it is on the microphone.
Yeah.
Let people know. That's why he was always just like, Mike Jones, who? And like when you hear Mike Jones, like high key, no one's ever gonna forget who Mike Jones is because of that reason. And so I think the producer tag is very important because A, producers don't get a lot of credit, like you said, and B, if you are going to be relevant, it's important that at the beginning of the song or at the end of the song, like they hear that, you know, Justin made another one.
Yeah.
And like, as a producer, like that's your brand.
Right.
That's really what you have to build off is like your image, but like your image is more vocal than it is physical.
Right.
I mean, visual. You know what I mean? Like that is your image, just whatever your tag is. And
Yeah.
I've heard people like Kato talk about like sometimes a producer will send me a beat and in the first 5 seconds that voice tag is so like fucking annoying. I don't even want to hear the rest of the beat.
Exactly.
And so like just have a good one or don't have one at all.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I would say.
I don't like the Cash Money Records one.
Cash Money AP.
I don't like that shit. That bothers me for some reason. But
It's better than holy shit, where'd you find this?
oh yeah.
I remember hearing that in like people's mixtapes and being like, oh no.
Yes.
You should have bought a beat.
Right. Do you think each, because you're from the East Coast, and now aren't we like, we're the Northwest, right? That's what we're called?
Yeah. The PNW.
PNW. Do you think there's a different type of beat made in the East Coast versus the Pacific Northwest?
Oh yeah. 100%.
How would you describe that?
The Bay Area influence comes all the way up to Canada. And so like a lot of people want that like that real like swing East Coast Bay Area type like E40 G's, yeah. Tell me when to go. Yeah. And so like they want that hyphy type shit. And on the East Coast everybody's like, give me that boom boom ga boom boom boom.
Yeah.
Like more just like kind of like gritty 50 Cent like, you know. Yeah, just the 50 Cent's the best New York influence right there.
Yeah.
Or Recipes Pop Smoke, he's a really great influence too.
Or Cardi B.
Cardi B.
I'm just kidding.
No, she's actually pretty fire, you know what I mean? Like this, like obviously her image is way bigger because of her personality.
Yeah.
But like if you just like tunnel vision on her music, like she's got bars. Like if she's really writing all of her own music, bro, she's good.
I choose her over Nicki Minaj.
All day.
100%.
All day. I like Nicki Minaj and her like
earlier
pre-album.
Yeah.
Pre-album Nicki, like just when she was doing all Young Money and there was no exclusive Barbie. You know what I mean?
She was,
like
she's kind of weird now.
She's real Lil Kim for me. Real Lil Kim.
And then she's married to that. Is she married yet or engaged to like this
the
ex-felon guy who like murdered people?
Yeah, and it's not the felon part that's bad. It's like what did he do to be the felon?
And then like oh my god, and her brother just went to jail for like raping her niece or some shit like that.
Twisted.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think that anybody would have heard about that if they weren't famous? Like, would that be a thing? Like, how many people does that happen to, unfortunately?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's because I think the fame, the light, is really important. Because I was talking to my family the other day about like how Seattle's picky about what they put on the news too. Like there can be like crazy shootings or something in Tacoma, Kent, anywhere like that. If it's not piquing like the Seattle's news outlets' interest or something, they're not going to post it.
No, it's so crazy you say that because in Maine, like. The crimes are so, it's all drug related. Like there's nothing, I hate to use the word interesting, right? Because like you don't want anything bad to happen to be in the news, but like nothing, for lack of better terms, interesting really happens like that. And like out here, there is so much that happens. Like so much really terrible shit fucking goes on. And I used to be the assistant manager of a Planet Fitness in Des Moines.
Oh shit.
Right on Pack Highway. Yeah. Super fucking sus area. And somebody got murdered like right outside of the front door. Right after we closed on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, I don't remember what time. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. And then like 5 minutes later, somebody got shot and killed right there. And like, we had to go to work at 3 a.m. to deal with the cadaver and the police and like all this stuff. And it's like, oh my fucking God. And you didn't hear anything about it in the news.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this man really died. And
yeah.
They didn't even like know. There's nothing in the newspaper, nothing in the TV. Like, how does his family know? Like,
that's so freaking weird.
Yeah.
And I just like like another thing we were talking about the other day was like, if you look it up, 50% of the world's serial killers come from Seattle. 50% of the world's. Seattle
the world's area. Not the country. I didn't hear that the first
time. Look that
time.
shit up right now.
Oh, Google it.
50% of the world's serial killers come from the Seattle area.
Damn.
Like, it's insane.
There's 8 billion people rounding up. Maybe even more than that now. I don't know when the last census was done, but damn. 50%. We need to fact check that.
No,
that's
I'm
crazy.
Dead ass. Look at him. You know who you look like? You look like Drake and Josh. Like
combined.
Yeah.
Combined.
I see that.
Josh.
Drake and Josh. There you go. It's like all 3 of those guys. You know who's coming to town? Drake.
And
The
Drake.
actual Drake. Drake Bell. Because I guess, like, he's supposedly, like, hated. Like, everyone hates him for some reason.
Yeah, actually, he was on TMZ the other day for something
But,
weird.
Josh, he turned his life around, dude. He used to be chubby, now he's, like, all fit. And,
Yeah, very
he's
Jonah
dope.
Hill of him.
Yeah. But Drake, I guess he's trying to go on tour right now.
For comedy?
For like, music. I guess he makes music.
Oh.
So I reached out, but I haven't heard anything back. But I think that'd be so funny to, like, talk to Drake Bell about his music career.
Yeah, because, like, I knew he played guitar on the TV show,
Yeah.
but I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can just, like, jump off a cliff that is your career.
You didn't find it?
Mm-mm.
What did you type in?
Literally typed in world serial killer statistics.
I saw it yesterday, literally.
I would just throw
Last
the word
night.
Seattle into the Google
Yeah.
search, and I think it'll, like, put the pieces together for you.
We need, like, a Jamie, like, on Joe Rogan. Dude,
Yeah.
that guy is insane.
always there with the facts.
Ooh, you got tattoos on your neck. What are those for?
Oh yeah. Okay. So actually, these 100% Chris Brown inspired.
Oh,
He's
yeah?
seen them too. He knows they exist. He knows
Really?
that I have these tattoos because of him. Yeah.
No way.
So my cousin back home in Maine does cover art for all kinds of artists all over the world.
Yeah.
And he's been in Chris Brown's DMs recently, like trying to get some work from him. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Yo, I really like your art. Like, I want to use some of it." And then I was like, "Bro." I was like, just tell him I got these tattoos because of him. And so he's like, okay. And so I sent him the DM, and he sent me a screenshot of it. And Chris Brown just like came back with a bunch of like flex emojis. I was like, oh, that's tight.
Oh, shit.
Third degree of separation. He knows I got his tattoo. But yeah, it was straight up because I thought that he had it, and it was like, it was so dope. And I was like, you know what? That's gonna be my second tattoo right there.
That's insane. You
Yeah,
found
that's
it?
true. Yep, it's true. The Seattle area,
Yeah.
50% of the world's.
Whoa, bro, you were not gassing. That's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I mean, I have to believe it because it's
That's crazy.
fact.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I need a new mic cord, and then, so I went on Craigslist, and it's like one for $5.
Dun, dun.
And I was like, there's no way that this is gonna be real, but I need one last second. So I pull into this parking lot, and I was like, oh god, whoever this guy is gonna come with a gas mask. And
Oh
just
my gosh.
Put me in my truck and drive away or some shit. And it turns out to be this goofy ass Indian guy. I was like, he's like, hey, little buddy. And I was like, I was like, oh my god, thank God.
Here's your $5.
Yeah,
Thank you.
$5 for like a 10-foot cord or something like
No,
that.
that's a steal.
Yeah.
That's a win.
So, but
And you also didn't die, so that's
yeah,
also a win.
that's another win. So, do you think neck tattoos count close to like face tattoos, or are they in a total different realm?
I think they're in a different realm. I feel like if they creep up to your like jawline, chin, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna like call it at face value. I'm pretty sure that yeah, anything below your jawline is like it doesn't really count because I don't feel like if I put on a button up or something, like you really don't know it's there unless I'm like trying to like show you. You know what I mean? And so like, nah, I think it's totally different.
Yeah. Do you think it's a branding thing too? Like, do you want people to be like, oh, that's the guy with the 3 stars on his neck? Or what do you think?
I have been known as 3 stars to some
shit.
people, but
Like on
I wouldn't say
Uber,
that it's like.
or-
No, that's what people say. They're like, "Oh, you can get 5." I'm like, "Okay, funny joke." But it actually come to have adopted a meaning because so many people ask me, "What does it mean? What does it mean?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess it's got to mean something." If so many people ask me, and so I was like, "All right, I guess there's 3 other people in my immediate family: my mom, my dad, and my sister. So we'll say that they're the other stars, and I'm I'm the biggest star."
Yeah.
And so like. Little egocentric, but
Yeah, no, I like it.
it's got a
like,
meaning now.
I think tattoos are really important to like. I kind of hate when when I find someone like I only have like 2 right now, so it's not like a big deal. But like if I ever found another person with like a Mickey Mouse tattoo on their like this is your forearm, right?
Bicep.
Bicep, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm just. I'm dead.
I stopped about it for a second too. I was like, oh, but I don't want to say the wrong.
But I think that would just crush my dreams if I found someone else to have the exact same tattoo in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Because I think tattoos are a way to like make yourself unique, you know?
That's the idea behind it. Yeah, I guess you want to be individualistic, but then there's tribes where everybody has the same facial tattoo because it all means the same thing, or like, you know what I mean? You might be a specific type of that person in your community, so everybody has that type of tattoo. So like, I guess. Yeah, for you, I would probably, because that's a very specific tattoo, you know what I mean? I'd be like, wait a minute, you fucking got that because of me.
Yeah.
No way you didn't. You saw that picture in the tattoo shop and like, you were like, give me that one.
Did that hurt though on your neck? It's
No.
like,
actually, because there's not a whole. I mean, there's a little bit of muscle there.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was just like, we had a tattoo party. Actually, there was this really dope artist we found online. A bunch of people came over, and it was like 15 people all in a house. And he took a bus from Massachusetts up to Maine and just stayed at the house for the weekend.
Damn.
And so like we were all just like drinking and smoking, and I was just like at the kitchen table, just like smoking a joint, relax while he was doing the tattoo.
Shit.
And no, there's not too many. There's not like nerve endings or like too much muscle for it to really like cause any sensations. I have one on my forearm. It was this one.
That must have fucking hurt.
This one hurt when he started getting close to the wrist, and like it was hitting nerves, so my fingers were like literally uncontrollably doing this Spider-Man thing, and so like that was uncomfortable. But I guess like, and you know what really sucks? The lines. I felt like. Do you have shading and color in yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so like the coloring actually feels better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, this one is scarred weird. So like the lady that did it, like she did a shit job, so I went in for a second time, and then it scarred weird, like right here.
Oh
so,
yeah, right with it.
Yeah, so I need
torso.
to redo it again. So for a third time.
Triple threat.
Third time's the charm.
The shading feels better than the black lines, like
Yeah.
the outline, because like you have 7 needles, and it's just kind of like, I hate to use the word massage because it definitely still hurts
I fell
a little
asleep
bit,
during
but, like,
this.
Yeah,
I literally felt because it doesn't. After a while, I get used to them.
it can be cathartic. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like it's just like a cool humming noise at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with everyone who says Post Malone's gone too far with his tattoos.
What's he doing, bro? He was like,
dude? And he has like a fucking just a buzz. His newest tattoo is like a buzzsaw on his like cheek or some shit, like a bloody buzzsaw. I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
ultimately, if you can do whatever you want, why not do it? I guess, but like, yeah, not for me. I like.
Yeah.
There's no amount of success or fame that's gonna like drive me to want to do that.
Do you think he's being himself, or do you think the fame and like being in the spotlight is like overcome him?
You know, bro, I'd have to smoke a joint with him
Yes.
before he was famous and smoke a joint with him now to really like get a good answer on that. But like, from what I see, he's just like always been like low key. Let's just party and have a good time and fucking make some tunes and fucking smoke some cigarettes and drink some Bud Light, dude. And like, I think he's still that person. He's just like, maybe he always wanted those dope face tats, and now he's just like, no, I can fucking do it, and I don't have to worry about not accepting my resume because of my face tats.
That must be the hardest thing if you like. You have all the fame and like you turn out to be like a, maybe he's happy where he is now, but like turn out to be like a Vanilla Ice type guy where like during all those like rerun shows, like the Amish show or whatever fucking show he's doing, like what if you get all those tattoos and stuff and then you end up like just blowing all your money and shit and you're just shit like that.
I guess it would be dope, you know, the worst case scenario to see how on like Celebrity Rehab.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? Like,
or what's that one thing called that all those like R&B artists and people go like. Love and hip hop.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I could see him on that, or like Celebrity Dads when his daughter's like 16 or something, and he's just got all these face tats and shit.
So what made?
Also MTV, don't steal that idea. Celebrity Parents, coining it.
Oh shit.
Yep.
You know who does? You know. So have you ever listened to like 92.5 or?
Absolutely.
So Jubal, he has I don't know if he's the first person to do it, but like he's the first person that caught my eye. He made a podcast also called the Potcast. So he gets high with all his guests, and like it's a huge thing.
Hey.
It's unlike like Joe Rogan smokes too, but he literally is like the podcast person. And, like everyone just smokes on his podcast and gets destroyed.
Hey.
So I think that stuff like that's pretty cool.
It is, because like, who wouldn't want to listen to that, or who wouldn't want to watch that on YouTube?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you always see like grandmas getting high for the first time, or like cops smoking weed for the first time. Like that shit draws you in. You want to know what, especially because like it's so taboo for so many people. They don't want to smoke weed because they're afraid they're gonna go out and murder somebody because of a movie they saw in the 30s.
Yes.
So.
I think Lil Wayne's like my favorite artist, and like the fact that he made that like Miss Officer song, that was like fucking life changing.
Seriously,
like
because
he's
he like
breaking those barriers down.
he calmed everybody down. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? She's not. I mean, I hate to say it, like the way he put it is like, she's not a threat. I want to try and hook up with her. But also if you look at it, it's from like, you know, she's just like, she's a boss, and like she does what she wants.
Yeah. So what made you decide that hip hop and like rap is like the category you wanted to focus in, and like you inspired you to listen to and all that type of stuff?
It was a lot of Michael Jackson, honestly. Oh, yeah. Like I fuck with him heavy. He's probably my favorite artist.
He fucked him heavy?
Yeah, I fucked him heavy.
Oh man.
No.
You went to Neverland Ranch?
That's right. No. So his music is really good. Like really good. And he really inspired me to like want to start singing like that, and like so then I just naturally started finding other artists who made music like him.
Yeah.
And the first album I actually ever had was a Master P album.
Oh
it
shit.
was a CD
okay.
I got from a yard sale. I don't even think my parents knew I bought it for like 50 cents.
Oh shit.
And I was like listening to it, and I was like, man, this is like, it's so easy just to vibe with it, because like the beats are just like so, it's a simple loop with some like dope pianos or some dope keys or some dope whatever. And I don't know, I just fell in love with it. It was just like so easy to just fall in love with this. Like, and it's creative, you know what I mean? Like when you hear country music, like you're pretty much getting the same 8 chords, just in different progressions, and you pretty much can anticipate the lyrics. Same thing with pop music, you know what I mean? You can pretty much anticipate it's going to be about a club or about dancing or something like fun related. And with rap, like you don't know if he's going to just jump into like how he's feeling depressed, or you don't know if he's going to jump into like how it's like, you know, it's crazy turn up night, or like maybe he's just like rapping because he feels like rapping, you know what I mean? Like Casey and the Sunshine Band, they just be rapping because they just want to be talking, you know? But it came out dope. So that's really what it was for me. It's just like I could do whatever I want, and like it could, for the most part, if it's on beat, it's gonna be accepted.
Do you like older rap or newer rap more?
All of it.
Yeah,
I don't have a specific preference. I often think to myself, would Tupac be so timeless if he wasn't as big as he was?
That's why. I was talking to someone about that. Like one of my,
there's so many artists that came from his era that were really fucking dope. And like, did he stick out the most because he got killed? I think a lot, yeah. But is his music also still really respectable and like good? Yeah, because he was talking about shit that nobody else was talking about. So in that respect, I like older hip hop, because I honestly feel like it was more about respecting women than it is now. Which seems so fucking wild. But then again, there's also a different perspective for people, because women have so much more empowerment in music, and like the way that they speak about their bodies and stuff, and it's more accepted, which it should be. You know what I mean? We talk about fucking bitches; they should be able to talk about doing whatever they want with their pussies.
It's
and ass.
so weird though,
you know
when
mean?
girls talk about that in songs.
It's weird because we're not used to it.
I don't know, man. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm like,
yeah, no, I dig it. But yeah, I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. And another thing is, like, in like the 90s and 80s, there was only like 20, 30 rappers. And now there's thousands of rappers, which so when it comes to like the death count also, like that's why you hear more rappers dying in the news now versus Biggie or Tupac, because those were the only guys really dying.
That's true.
Because they're the only ones.
That's true.
But like, did you hear about, I didn't even listen to his music, but did you hear about Pop Smoke?
Yeah.
Dude, like shit like that, and that just like is common now basically for rappers.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't even imagine. I can't imagine something like that.
He had the roughest 2020. He got arrested for driving like a stolen Rolls Royce across the border in January, and in February he's dead. So he had 2 months into 2020, and it's just over.
They must have came back for their Rolls Royce. That's what happened.
Yeah.
No, I actually saw some surveillance footage, and I'm pretty sure he was on Instagram Live, and he like was going from one place to another, and in the passing, it went past like one of his tags, or a tag on one of his bags that had his address on it. That's what I heard, and like somebody like screenshotted it and was like, "Yo, this is where this fool lives. We're about to rob him." But I also heard that he wasn't shot at home.
I don't even
like he got broke into and he got murdered, but they're not synonymous. Like they happened at different times. I don't know.
That's just weird.
But no, I wasn't too up into his music. I'm not gonna front and say I was like a big fan or anything like that. But like
my biggest idol. That's the same thing with me. Like Little Peep, I had no idea who the heck that guy was until he died. Did you? No. See,
there's a lot of artists that sound like him too. You know what I mean? Like
a lot of girls knew who he was.
Hella.
That's the thing too. I think a lot. There's like a wave of rappers that are dedicated just to girls to listen to in a way.
Yeah. I mean, if that's your target, you know what I mean. You know who Nanks is?
No, who's that?
Nanks. So he's like, he's got this huge following on Instagram, but it's like it's only because he just like smiles a little bit and sings into the camera, and like when you listen to his music, it's like it's clear that he's not using like A1 Studios, but he's getting lots of money and lots of plays, and like you can tell he's just catering to like the people that find him cute. You know, exactly. Like
TikTok is so fucking weird, dude.
Dude, I'm mad at TikTok.
God,
fucking pissed, bro. They deleted my account. I had 22,000 followers.
Wait, why'd they delete your TikTok?
Yeah. So after
shit.
After a month of really grinding, listening to Gary Vee, like put in work 3 times a day. I'm like, bro, I'm fucking doing it 3 times a day. You know what I mean? I'm 30 years old. I'm trying to become an artist. I need to get a platform where I'm like winning. You know what I mean? TikTok's my shit. I can come up with original content, not a problem. So 1 video, not so good. 2 videos, not so good. 3rd video, 1.7 million views. I'm
What?
like, okay,
The fuck?
found out how to be creative. Next video, 100,000 views. Next video, 100,000 views. Before I know it, 10,000 followers, 15,000 followers, 20,000 followers,
shit.
23,000 followers. I go into a weed store, okay? There's this little trending clip going around of Cheech and Chong. It's like, I'm in love with marijuana. Makes me feel just like an iguana. Like, just saying weird shit. I am the cannabis man. And so I was like, oh, I'm in a weed store. Let me just try and get a little piece of content. So there's just like, you know, they have the weed in the displays. Are you 21?
No, but I've been.
Oh yeah, you just
I've been
graduated.
on- I've been
Okay,
on
yeah.
that stuff though.
They just have display cases of all the stuff that you can buy, and it's just like they have the labels facing backwards, so you can see into the jars, like, and all the weed is like the most beautiful stuff, the most beautiful flowers are displayed. And so I'm like, okay, let me just zoom in slowly on this one, zoom in slowly on this one. That's all I did. I wasn't smoking, wasn't touching it, like very low key, and they banned me. And I'm like, so I appealed it. Hey, I never did anything wrong on this app. This is my first time like having any issues. Please, can you reverse this? Like, we'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days. Bro, they still didn't fucking call me. This has been like 6 months ago, bro.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I had to make a new one. I'm at 5,000 followers almost now, so luckily I'm building back up. But bro, I'm pissed. I worked so hard for those 23,000 followers, and like times change. You know what I mean? So like the stuff that I was doing was like, I tried reposting a bunch of my most popular videos. 100 views, 20 views.
Shit.
I'm like, this is not the 1.7 million
Yeah.
I grinded for.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What do you
got
try
me
to
tripping.
What do you try to do in your videos? Like, is it like story type things, or like just singing into a camera, or like...
All kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? It's random stuff strikes you. You might see like, you might see a bum peeing on the corner, and like there's this clip that you know is trending. So boom, you bust it out and you record it and put it to that clip. Most recently, I've been trying to use my songs in my videos to try to gain some traction, because TikTok plays are where it's at. You'll be getting hell of royalties from TikTok. So
Really?
I'm trying to like start this viral dance trend. I've actually been reaching out to some big influencers.
Yeah.
To this, my first single is called Contraband, and it's like a hella club banger. And I'm just trying to get people to do dance trends to it. So I'm just like making those key moves now, so that by the time summer rolls around, like it's already got a little bit of a following.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my plan for that.
You just gotta start doing, because like I think it's too late now, but like when season 2 of You just came out, when that was out, like everyone was doing like those You videos.
I missed
So
that.
you should have done that.
Nobody really
dude.
told me I looked like him until after. It was already like, I'm like, oh man.
Just try to play that off, or like just wear a baseball cap in a video and
Seriously.
be like,
Rest in peace, Guinevere Beck. Though.
yes,
She's the
dude.
true OG. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched.
Okay.
I watched You when it first. So I like did all the research on it too. Like when I was watching it, no one else even knew what it was. So basically, like it was HBO original, but HBO dropped it because it wasn't getting enough attention. So Netflix picked it up. I was like, oh shit, what is this? I saw like, you know how Netflix like shows you the trailer when you're scrolling through.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, this catched my eye. So I watched the whole trailer, then I watched the whole show, binged it in like 3 days,
Yeah.
and that was like the first show I ever binged.
Oh snap.
And this was like almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I was like,
So like
okay.
really when it first came out.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And then the second season came in. I was like, okay, I watched it. I was like, I heard a few people talking about it. And by the time I finished it, because I binged it again, so I finished it like the day after it came out.
Yeah.
And then like after, like the week after it came out, everyone was like posting about it. I was like, what the fuck? This is gonna turn into Stranger Things.
Hella.
Because that's what I did with Stranger. I watched Stranger Things before it was popular too, and now I just can't watch it because like when things get too catchy or like too many people know about something, it kind of like loses my interest.
No, yeah.
So I haven't watched any more Stranger Things. If they come out with another season of You, it's probably going to be like, I hope it doesn't turn into like a Star Wars movie where it's just like all fan based, you know?
You know, that's how I felt about the second season.
Really?
Like the ending, like when he got spoiler alert. So at the ending when he got married, or like not married, but like moved in with her, and they have a kid and stuff, and then it's just like, okay, but what now?
Yeah.
Like, is it just gonna be redundant where he kills his wife and baby, and then finds another woman, and then kills her, and then like, is it just gonna be the same like drawn out thing? Because like the first season was like, oh damn, like Joe, you're really finding yourself in a predicament. You know what I mean? And then the second season starts to like unveil itself, and you're like, okay, it's really getting interesting now. He's a fake person. He's got like numerous homicides. Okay, you know, you're starting to root for him even though he's a murderer. And it's just like, where are they gonna go with it now?
Yeah, exactly.
I want it to keep going for 1,000 seasons because that shit is catchy, but I'm just like, I'm so worried it's gonna, they're gonna ruin it.
That's why I don't like. I think like New York radio and Atlanta did a good job, but like Seattle radio for the most part, their song selection sucks. It's just
You think so?
way too repetitive.
Is that for your personal taste, or do you feel like that's just for like
all
in
of-
general?
I think all in general, like especially 92.5, like working there, they only play the top 40, not even the top 100, the top 40.
Oh yeah.
So like if like that's another reason why I started my podcast, because I was like, okay, I'm at the station, maybe I can help get local artists some airtime and shit, and they didn't want to do that because they're focused on the top 40.
Oh.
It's like, what the fuck? So at least I can bring people in and interview them at the station and stuff like that.
Like the Come Up Cube.
Yeah, which was even that's a little small though, you know. Like it's not. That's what I want to do with my platform. Like make it so it's not even like, is he really helping Seattle? Is it gonna be okay? He's definitely helping Seattle. Like you can walk into the. That's my goal is like have like a full on building where like there's maybe like multiple floors with different podcasts going on and shit like that.
Yeah.
And people like, yeah, this is the building where like you can go in and like get your voice heard, you know.
Yeah.
Because we don't really have that.
That's
right
powerful.
now.
That's not powerful. This is where you go to get your voice heard.
Yes, exactly.
Damn.
Like this studio itself is like really dope. Like the
Very
light
inviting.
up words and all that stuff. It's an art gallery. It's a studio. It's an event gathering place. Like
Yeah.
stuff like this. And this is big for me, but like this is still like on a small scale, you know. So like, I think Seattle can really grow more, you know.
I would agree that 100% there's way more room for growth than what is currently taking place.
What do you like about Seattle, and what do you not really like about Seattle?
At the risk of sounding hella cheesy, bro, I really haven't found anything I dislike about Seattle. I've heard a lot of people say that it's just Maine 2.0, and like that's really how I feel in my bones, man. Like it's just like Maine, but everything's a little bigger. The cities are a little bit bigger, you know what I mean? The crowds are a little bit bigger, the mountains are a little bit bigger, but like it's like the same dope people, you know. I don't really feel too much Seattle freeze. I don't know if it's because I'm personable or if it's because I'm outgoing or what, but like people just generally fuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like people are just like scuffing me off or anything.
They think
or,
you're
like,
someone right now, so they're like,
maybe,
oh,
yeah.
shit.
Oh shit, it's fucking Johnny Knoxville. I should probably talk to him. You know what I mean?
Is that Joe? Oh shit!
Please don't kill me. I'll do what you need. No, but like people.
Or John Mayer. You can say that too.
Okay, I'll take that one. Yeah, I feel like I don't get that, so I haven't felt anything negative about Seattle. I do like the opportunity. You know, I like walking down the street and just knowing that at any point I could see Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
Which I did. Saw him and his mom walking around Pike's Place.
When was that?
2017.
I need to fucking reach out to him.
Yeah, I guess he lives here.
Yeah.
And so the person I was with was like, "That's that fucking Dave Matthews." And as we walked by, he like turned around and winked, and I was like, "Oh fuck, what is it? We can't bother him because he's with his sweet mom." But
Is that Joe? Winks.
yeah,
Like he's
I was like,
walking
"Oh,
shit
damn,
like that.
he knew."
Damn, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like LA. I want it to become more like an LA where you can just see all those like crazy people like walking around and be like, oh shit.
You know, we don't have beaches. We don't have like sunshine. Like
We have Kirkland. Have you been to Kirkland?
I have been to Kirkland. I have
The
a couple
Kirkland
friends that
beaches
live there.
there are like amazing.
Yeah, is
And
that
we have-
where? Oh no, I'm thinking Redmond is where Marymore is.
Marymore. Yeah, Billie Eilish performed there with Denzel Curry.
Really?
Which is a weird collaboration in my opinion.
It is.
But,
Speaking of Billie Eilish, shout out to Phineas. He's like a big reason why that album blew up because like they really recorded it in a bedroom, but like he really mixed that shit. You know what I mean? Like she's talented, but he is talented.
I like that she's helping him shine too.
Yeah.
Because like there's some artists, like every artist has a team, but sometimes they don't really want to help show that there's a team behind them.
Exactly.
But
That's lame.
I think Seattle. I don't really see do you see the gloom? Like, is Maine shiny? Not shiny, sunny? Or is it rainy there
It's
too?
pretty shiny. It is. It's very 4 season. So like you get 3, 3, 3, 3. You know what I mean? Like, is that 12? 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, yeah. So you get 3 of each. So
Yeah.
except for in Maine, we don't really call it spring. It's called mud season because we
yeah.
get so much snow and everything melts and like
Yeah.
anything that isn't solid concrete is 100% mud.
Mm-hmm.
Like more people get stuck in mud than they do in the snow and ice
That's
because
fun.
it's so thick. And like
Yeah.
a lot of roads are pretty much dirt still in Maine, so we don't really have it like that.
When it snows in Seattle, it's bad because it's only been starting to snow recently, and I went to high school. I believe in global warming and all that shit. I'm not like an activist, but I think that shit's real.
Yeah.
Or global cooling or both. Because a few years ago, there definitely wasn't this much snow. Like last year, during Snowmageddon, oh my god, that shit
So
was
wild.
insane. Dude, I'll always remember that because like, when it was like one of the like days it was really bad, there was a Wiz Khalifa concert. And I was like, I paid $70 for this. I'm not going to go to this, and they didn't cancel it, so I still went, and like I had to Uber there, and like it was like, so I got there, I got to because there's two. What's really weird is there's two fucking show boxes. You know, there's
Showbox
Soto.
Soto?
Yeah, and Pike Place. So I got a Soto, and it's the wrong one. So I had to go to the Pike Place. And because there was like a lot of snow, a lot of people couldn't get there, but they didn't cancel the show. So there was like, it was a decent crowd, but it wasn't too big. So it was like still fun. You're like up close with Wiz and Currency.
Oh, yeah.
It was when they, do you listen to Wiz Khalifa at all?
Hecka, yeah.
Dude, did you listen to their 2009 album that came out last year? It was like Currency and Wiz Khalifa. They're always making like collaboration albums.
I think so, because that's when he was doing a lot of docuseries on Instagram, and I think I watched some of those recordings.
And that was like, so Wiz is another person who always comes to Seattle, but people don't really realize that. And Currency's always in Seattle. But basically, we were his first tour stop for his concert, and it was the day the album dropped. So it was basically like a listening party, basically, because he just played songs off the new album.
Oh, that's tight.
And I was like, wow, I wouldn't miss this for the world. And then when I left the concert, it was completely snow everywhere, and no Uber would pick me up or anything because it was too deep.
Stranded.
And then I found a fucking bus that would go back to my house, and it was like the last bus for the night. And there were freaking like snow sweepers in front of the bus clearing the road on the freeway and shit.
Oh, so it took 1,000 years.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, if I missed this bus, I would have been stuck in the cold in fucking Seattle.
Damn.
Hanging out with the homeless people.
Yeah. that would not be chill if you missed the bus.
Yes, that would. So I was like, wow.
It's crazy because when I hear Snowmageddon, like in Maine, people scoff. They're like, school wouldn't even be canceled. It's
really?
like, yeah. Like,
Damn.
low-key, there's high key. There's times when you open up your door and like, you know, you see those wild ass videos where the snow is covering the whole front door.
Yeah.
Like, it really gets like that.
Oh,
you know what a snowdrift is?
What is that? Is that when snow blows? I don't know.
Yeah, no, literally. So like the snowdrifts are worse. So like, let's say that they plow the road,
Mhm.
and so now you got these giant towers of snow on the edge of the road. The snowdrifts will blow across, and they'll create like these dunes of solid snow because it's just like micro snow blowing across, and then it's like like actual sand dune, but it's a snow dune. And, like, they're more solid than the original snow that fell the first time.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's crazy.
Yep.
The weather here is crazy.
It is pretty wild.
I guess that's what serial killers use as their excuse to kill people here, but I don't.
I guess officially, like, you have less serotonin because you don't get all that sunshine,
Yeah.
and like you don't get the appropriate amount of vitamin D, and like your body's fucking wild, you know. If you don't get the right amount of nutrients, who knows what the fuck will happen with you know.
I'm already pretty tan though, because I'm so I'm fine. I don't think it affects me. It's all the white people here. Those are the serial killers anyway, and the school shooters.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst. But I do know that a lot of my darker skinned friends, you have to be careful of not getting enough vitamin D because of bone deficiency.
Oh yeah.
So I notice there's a high rate of individuals who have bone issues at an early age, 40, 50.
Yeah.
Because even though you could be in the sunshine all day in Seattle, but you actually don't get the appropriate type of vitamin D. I hate saying vitamin D. Just like people doesn't make the D jokes.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
The fucking Ludacris ended up making a song called Vitamin D like
Vitamin D.
2 years ago or something with Ty Dolla $ign. So of course it was catchy. But I think Luda fell off a little bit.
I wanted to make some Dunkin' Donuts t-shirts and say all she really wants in the morning is the D, and just have a big Dunkin' Donuts D there.
Dude, that's the thing that that's what I'm starting to do, like collaboration with local businesses and shit. That's huge. Like tomorrow, I'm modeling and interviewing this like scrunchie company from Seattle. They're like a startup company from Seattle, like a scrunchie people. And like, you don't see fucking guys wearing scrunchies really, but I'm like, I'm gonna connect with these people and I'm gonna get their girl audience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so I want to fucking model some scrunchies.
I feel like Roger
that.
Federer or somebody would be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could totally see that.
But connection with, it doesn't matter like if you're like in the same genre of music or same art form at all. It's like important to connect with everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm all about connecting, and I want to continue to connect with people.
That's actually my final step of like learning Seattle is a little segment I'm going to start doing. It's called $1 for your time. Oh. And I'm just going to go around Seattle and
ask for $1.
No, I'm gonna pay people $1. No, this guy's laughing. He knows the deal. Yeah, I'm actually he's supposed to be the OG cameraman. I'm just gonna pay people $1 to sit down and talk to me for however long they want. It could be 5 seconds. You could say one sentence to me. You could sit down and talk to me for 10 minutes. But I just want to pay you $1, and because like who doesn't want to get paid $1 to talk, and who doesn't like talking about themselves? But like I want to introduce myself. I'm Jay Fierly. I'm a local artist. Here's $1. tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, I want to show people like I care about the people that are going to hear my music, but like I also care about the people that live in the city that I'm going to be like representing. You know what I mean? Because if I'm going to represent Seattle, it's only fair that I be a part of Seattle. So that's like, and also it's going to make killer fucking content. Like, let's be real. That's like one of the main driving factors. So
I don't know how to vlog, but people are really good at that shit.
Yeah.
So but I'm telling you, man, like, what you need to do is go on TikTok. And so, you know, Westlake Center, like, is up the street. And that's where a lot of the homeless people are. Just pay, like, a crack whore to suck your dick on TikTok. And it'll blow up instantly.
Yeah. I think that violates more than the weed guidelines that they fucking banned me for. You know what it is? It's because a Chinese company bought it. And they uphold the strongest of values. And so, like... Like, girls will wear sports bras when they do dance videos and leave the fuck's it called? The copy or the... caption will say, I hope TikTok thinks I'm a boy so I don't get this blocked.
Oh, shit.
So, like, their boobs aren't bouncing around. It's like, damn, TikTok is really hunting for the weird shit.
Yeah.
I saw this video of a girl... No, seriously. I saw a video of a girl dancing on TikTok. This is a true-ass motherfucking story. I tried to leave a comment. It was like, this video no longer exists. I'm like, bro, but I'm watching it. You know what I mean? So I screen recorded it. And I reposted it on TikTok. And the first comment I get was... CEO of reposting TikToks that get banned. And I was like, damn, he knew because he must have tried to do the same thing. And I was like, oh man, TikTok, you're wild. They obviously banned it too after like, 50 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever.
Wasn't there a time in China where you couldn't even show like ankle or some shit? And then that was like considered hot to like show your ankle. I know that's like in India, right? Like,
I feel like that's anywhere at some point, you know what I mean? Before like when women used to have like actual bathing suits, they had a whole ass dress they swam in. You're trying to kill these women? Can't swim in no dress? The fuck? Like penguin feet. Yeah! Like a mermaid.
Dude, the stereotype of black people can't swim is a real thing, dude. I like almost drowned during the summer. That was so scary.
Why?
Oh my god.
Why? Where does that stereotype come from? Well, I guess not. Where does it come from? But why is it? Why do you think it remains so true?
Yeah,
I guess because I don't know if I can say that it remains true. I don't speak on behalf of all black people.
The joke is like black parents don't want to pay for swimming lessons. That's the joke.
What? Damn, everybody's got a damn public pool.
But I don't know. Shit. I don't know.
Of a joke.
I think swimming's harder than fucking track or football or wrestling. I think it's so hard.
But if you don't do anything, low key you float.
How do you float? I've tried. It's like I don't know. And my biggest fear, bigger than spiders. Oh my god, I hate spiders.
Arachnophobia is a real thing.
My biggest fear. Oh, I also don't really like small spaces. Sometimes, like if I had to be in a spy movie and climb through a vent, I couldn't do that. Okay. But like this isn't bad. Like being in an elevator isn't bad. But like I think that's my first or second fear of all time is fucking seaweed. Dude, bro. In the lake, when that shit wraps around your ankle, it's like
it makes me cringe. That's why I don't like deep waters, because not because of how deep the water is, but it's like I never know what my foot's gonna touch, or more importantly, what's gonna come and try and touch my foot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm trying to I always look every summer I look for them, but I never end up buying them. But they're getting better every year, like the fucking swim shoes you can wear.
Yep.
Nike's starting to make some and shit. I'm like, okay. And the next year or two, when they finally make like the Air Jordan swim shoes, that's the shit I'm getting.
Yep.
But
no, it's good because if you're going like river floating too, like you don't want to step on rocks and shit. Like that sucks. Like give me a little bit of a platform or something.
Walking on rocks is one of the worst things. It fucking sucks all uneven and shit.
No thanks. Shout out people that don't wear shoes. God damn, you're brave.
I can't do that.
No.
You know what I hate? When guys wear flip flops and jeans.
That's just wild. That's so Abercrombie of them.
And then or when those guys
Indian
have
father.
Yes, I didn't want to point that out, but yes, dude. When they have fucking like gross ass toes, that their toenails are like yellow.
Listen, being a manager at Planet Fitness, you have the wildest customers come in, and bro, everybody wants to come work out in flip flops, and I'm always just like, bro, no, you gotta have some real shoes.
Oh god.
Just stubbing your toe sucks. Imagine if someone dropped 50 pounds on your foot.
Fuck.
You want to keep those toes?
Oh god, and people's toenails fall off.
Oh, they're so gnarly, dude. That's so gnarly.
God. No. I saw this guy at the store today wearing have you ever wrestled or like have you seen wrestling shoes before?
Yeah, fourth in the state of Maine.
Oh shit. Yeah. This guy was straight up wearing wrestling shoes like in the store. I'm like, I'm pretty sure when I wrestled the #1 rule is don't wear wrestling shoes off the mat, basically.
Yeah. Cuz they get they're so soft, you know what I mean? Like they're only meant for like that thick padding of the mat.
And I I was one of those people that never showered with the team or anything like that. Because first of all, I'm not homophobic, but that's pretty gay. And second of all, it's
Calling
gross.
it like it is.
I don't want. I just don't want to shower with guys. And like the wrestling team would always make fun of me about that. And of course, I was the only one on the team to not get like ringworm and shit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
wow, makes sense.
I'll wait the extra 20 minutes to get home after practice or some shit.
Yeah, like, what is my mom gonna complain I stink? Like, what
Yes.
the fuck? Get over it, Mom. I just wrestled. Like, the fuck?
Showering
No.
with guys, man.
Here's my thing. If I don't want to get all your gross shit you just washed off your body to splash off the ground and get all over me. Like, that's fucking gross. These guys pee in the shower, bro. Like, I'm not trying to be, like, no. Get your ass away from me. You know what I mean? Like, this is the only time I have to myself. Like, you next year you're going to want to hold my hand while that shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're not having that.
Or there's memes when the guy like hands him tissue under the fucking stall and shit like that.
I saw one where they were playing marbles with each other. It's like, I got some marbles. You want to play? He's like, yeah, I got a couple minutes. It's like, what the fuck?
Fuck, man. Well, as you continue to grow,
Yes.
what do you want to use your platform to do?
I would like to get more people to do music too. That's actually I just opened up an Etsy store and it's got some of my merch on it, but it also has a lot of stuff based off of Maine. I'm working with a local artist to make some pieces for like t-shirts, coffee mugs, aprons, stuff like that. So those are live in the store, but I also am partnering with a nonprofit from Maine that funds the Maine state. I can't think of the acronym right now, but essentially it's just a free place where children from 5 to 19 can go and just like take music lessons, create music, learn music theory, all kinds of stuff. So a portion of every purchase from my store goes to them.
Yeah.
And so like I want to, I want everybody to hear my music and want to make music. You know what I mean? Like, do it. It's so easy. Anybody can learn. It's not, if you can't sing, you can play the guitar. If you can't play the guitar, there's a million other instruments. If you can't do that, then you can learn music theory and write songs. Like, anybody can do music. You just have to take the time to learn how to do it. So I really want to just like get people to do, the next Mozart could be somewhere in a third world country and they just need a little push, and like all of a sudden now we have the most beautiful piece of music ever written. And like I would like to say they heard one of my beats or they saw a movie where I scored it and they were like, wow, that was powerful. I would like to do that. So that's my main thing. And then aside from that, I just want to, I don't ever want to have to work for anybody ever again. I want to just like,
I already don't want to do that.
I don't have a problem. Like I don't want to stick it to the man or anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with the 9 to 5, but that's not what I'm envisioning for my life. Like I want to just wake up, make some music, know that I'm financially stable, where me and my son like don't have to fucking worry about anything, and we can just like rely on that. You know what I mean? Like do a couple movies, meet some dope people, diversify my portfolio. Reinvest and just like only spend what I make off of my side hustles and save my main income.
Get some Bitcoin.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna Gary Vee it. I'm just gonna turn one brand into 30.
Yes. So quickly, let's touch on family. What's the importance of family to you? You said you have a son.
I do. I have a 6-year-old son.
That's
his name is Dubs. That's
Dubs?
his nickname. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, he's super cool. He's actually really interested in music. He likes beatboxing. He likes to make beats with me and stuff. Yeah.
That's dope.
So family's super important to me. All my family is unfortunately on the East Coast, so I try to visit them once a year. I try to go home. Luckily, he just went with his mom back home to Maine because she's also from Maine, so we got to see my family and his grandparents and all that stuff. So that's really cool. He's the only grandchild on my side of the family, so he's the king. You know what I mean? But it's really important. My mom and my dad are super supportive people. They've been like really my best friends my whole life, and it's important that I be able to take care of them because they did it, for me for 21 years. So time to pat them on the back.
Yes, for sure. Support system's important.
And my sister. Love you, Chloe.
Yes. I have a pretty big family too, man.
Yeah?
Wait, how many? You just have one sister?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you said you said your stars are your mom, dad, and sister.
Yeah, she's 18.
Wow. Yeah, I have like 4 siblings.
Oh, dang.
And then, yeah.
Are you guys all relatively close age? Because her and I grew up in like 2 separate homes because we have 12 years apart. So like
they're all different ages. Like all my family's like, you know what? That's what I want to touch on because you've been through the married life and you have a kid. Do you think?
Ask me your old man questions. I'm just kidding.
Do you think that for me right now, because like I was supposed to go on a break over like I wanted to set up a break for myself like this last week for just like I went up to my cabin.
Okay.
And I was supposed to just like get away from everything because I've been really focused just on my podcast a lot of the times. It's just zoned in, like who am I going to interview next, anything like that.
Yeah.
And I took my break this week, and I just got back yesterday, and I realized that every single day I was like still on my phone looking at emails for like interviews and shit like that. I was like, fuck. And then like having like, I don't know, I feel like being in relationships even can like sometimes turn into like another job, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if you're really dedicated to what you're doing and passionate about it. Do you think that like having like a family can sometimes, not in a bad sense, but like derail like a passion in a way, or do you think it like makes your passion stronger in other ways?
I think that's an individualistic answer. Yeah, I think like everybody's gonna have a different one.
Right.
I think it's a super great question though. For me, yeah, it was definitely more of a distraction than it was a support system. And granted, like we moved across the country, we had a child.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that happened over the 1 year, then the next year, and then the next year. So like, it was easy to say, oh, I can just put music to the side. You know what I mean? And like, I always wanted it to be a career, but then I always had to like help support my family and stuff like that. So it was hard to give all that time and energy when you have like a newborn and stuff. So I think for sure it can derail both your expectations and your performance. Like, you could try and stretch 24 hours. Everybody, this is a stupid saying, everybody's got 24 hours in a day. So like, don't make excuses. But like, sometimes your 24 hours really have to be allocated to other things. And like, Steve Harvey says, rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day because you can't do that. But like, sometimes like 5 is not enough. You need to get some sleep. So like, for me, it was really hard. So I mean, now that I have the time that's not devoted to somebody, shout out to all you girls I took on dates. I know that you wanted something more, but I told you from the get. I need to have the time to focus.
I think like my saying is, unless I'm making like $1 million or over $100,000 a year, I don't want to have a kid or get married.
No, I applaud you on that. It's really important that you have some stability before you dive into something that's like, last year, bro, I spent $12,000 on after school care and daycare. Not to mention like everything else that comes with having a child. So like, it's the money goes. Like, you really got to be stable to have a child. You
could have bought like, let's see, like maybe like 100 kids in Africa and Xbox on that.
Bro, my Jeep's falling apart right now. I could have bought myself a new Jeep. Shout out Jenna. I love that Jeep.
But it's I think that's my goal with Seattle. I don't want anyone that I come in contact with or interview, I want to like make like a genuine connection with them and like help them out in any way I can. Because I think as long as someone's like passionate about it, I don't think people need to like go back to like revert to like the 80s where it's like a garage band phase where people are like, oh shit, here's the pictures of my old band, shit like that. Like, I don't want anyone that I'm working with to end up having to like look back on shit like that, because I think music's really important, and I think everyone can still have a voice. So yeah, I
agree with that 100%.
But I think there are definitely some artists that are better than others, but everyone is deserving of some type of audience.
You don't have to be Drake to be successful. There are artists that tour and make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year that you never heard of. Like I find new artists every day on Instagram. So like, there's a different level of winning for everybody, for sure.
And I want to change the fact that like there's actually, if you really research it, there's tons of huge artists that have come out from Seattle, and you don't even know they're from Seattle.
No.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So I want to make a platform where people are like, yes, of course I'm from Seattle, or like Seattle area. Like I say, I like to say everything Seattle, like Kent, Seattle, in my opinion, even though it's not. But I have to say there's tons of so many talented artists in Kent. It's pretty.
El Wavy.
There's tons of
big come up.
I want to, there's like, you're in Kent, so there's tons of people I want to introduce you to in Kent and shit. Like, that's what I mean. Like, and the minute I meet someone, I'm like, who can I introduce this person to? Shit like that. But yeah, what is some advice that you have for up and coming Seattle artists, creators, influencers, people in Maine, people in Kent?
Get out there, really meet people. I found most of my successes have come just from being introduced to somebody, you know what I mean? Like, just happened to stumble on you, introduce myself, boom, now I'm getting, on the podcast. So it's like, you just got to get out there. And like, don't underestimate the power of a DM. I be DMing people that have 20 million followers, and bro, sometimes they hit you back.
Oh shit.
You know, you never know when they're gonna bust open, and you might be at the top at that time that they hit their DMs. You know,
Yeah.
and then if it had been 30 seconds later, there might be another 10,000 in their DM,
Oh,
right? So
shit,
they wouldn't see
yeah.
you. So like, meet people, just like, and create. Don't create with expectations of likes. Create because you fucking liked it and that just sounded good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are always, there's never gonna be 100%. That was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. You gotta treat it like, I always tell people this. If a TV commercial came on and they were like, yo, you suck. And then it went to the next commercial. Like, how long are you gonna hold on to that commercial? Like, bro, I really do suck. Like, he's right. No, you just go to the next commercial. I'm like, that's how you gotta treat criticism. Just
Yeah.
create content, meet people. If they don't like you, they don't fuck with you. There's 8 other billion people that probably will. So just keep going.
Speaking of TV commercials, sometimes I don't really watch TV much anymore, but sometimes like I think it's probably like 3 out of 5 times I watch TV, there will be like a commercial and then like bleeps right to the next commercial. Have you ever noticed that? Like
Yeah.
like they'll start a commercial and then right to the next.
It cuts.
I'm like, what the fuck? Do they lose out on some money or like
Yeah,
what
it's
the
like
fuck happened
they
there?
didn't put down the full deposit on their slot. We gave them what they paid for.
Shit.
That's honest company.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah, I'd be pissed. Because I used to work in radio when I was on the
Oh,
East Coast.
shit, yeah.
Yeah, I was a salesman for Town Square Media.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
so I'd just go from business to business. And like,
Yeah.
that was a tight job. I didn't have any set hours. I could
Mhm.
just wake up in the morning, put my suit on, go to a
Yes.
local business, get some coffee, sit down with the owner, shoot the shit, and
Oh,
then maybe make a $10,000 deal. You know what I mean? And like, oh, it's great.
Yes.
It's great.
See, radio's I don't know why not enough people are like interested in radio. Radio is where it's at, man.
It's so great.
Like, even if you don't want to be in radio, just being in radio is good for you. Like, make some type of connection. Like, I'm lucky that radio is what I wanted to do. So like, I could go to college, but like I was going to go to college for radio. But now that I'm in radio, I'm like, why go into debt? for
Yeah.
that shit. But
The debt to income ratio is already like good, so don't
Yeah.
foil it. Yeah. Yeah, actually, the first radio people I met out here was Carla Marie and Anthony.
Hmm.
I won tickets to go to one of their Christmas shows.
Ooh.
And so then I started DMing the producer Brett. Producer Brett? Producer Michael? I can't remember his name. Like, it's been so long since I
Joseph.
talked to him. But yeah, so I started DMing the producer, and then we started shooting the shit, and then I was like actually coming up with like segment ideas for Carla Marie and
Oh,
Anthony, and I
shit.
had this like all these little bits, and I was doing these little intros and stuff for them, and they ended up using just my voice for like a commercial.
Ooh.
Or like some little thing, just like you know, this is, you know, Cube 90. Well, before it wasn't Cube, it was oh my gosh, what was it before Cube? It was Power 93.3.
Oh shit.
So it's like you're listening to Power 93.3. And so like they used my
Yeah.
voice a couple times for that, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was pretty tight. That was my first introduction to Seattle radio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fire.
yeah, and they're hella cool too. They're not on that part anymore. They're on something else, but
Right.
different station.
Well, what is the easiest way to reach you?
You could hit me up on Instagram. Absolutely. I am Fierly, Fierley.
Hey.
And that's it. Yeah, I'm always on Instagram. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm trying to just create.
Trying to get some
and
girls, man.
Trying to, yeah.
Sliding into Drake's DMs.
That's right.
Like he does to
Drake
Billie Eilish
or
and all those
Drake.
young girls.
Seriously, people really be like Millie Bobby Brown and stuff.
Yes.
I didn't know she just turned 16.
Oh shit.
She looks like that one woman.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
even think of her name, but I'm like,
She looks like Natalie Portman.
That's
Am I-
exactly what I
Oh
was
shit!
thinking.
You see
Yes,
that?
that's
Okay.
I'm like, wait a minute, you're not 16.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's wild. Check those IDs.
Yes.
You don't want to be the next Akon.
Oh,
Oh man.
well, what
Yeah.
are some final words that you have for Seattle?
I just genuinely appreciate everybody who fucks with me. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, I'm not out here buying followers or likes or anything like that. Like, I'm trying to create genuine connections because I feel my personality is strong enough that once you meet me, like, I'm a nice person.
And if you don't
And-
like me, I'll kill you.
And if you don't like me, I will literally kill you. So,
I will murder you.
yeah. You.
I will kill and then murder you.
Murder, death, kill.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're dope. Well, you're listening to the NAST podcast, and I'm with...
Jay Fierly.